doing that? Are we getting rid of me, Max, you?
Me?
No, we need you for diversity.
We will freely admit that we are fostering diversity.
Anyway.
I mean, you get some kind of government tax remissions, I believe.
Oh, I wish we could.
God, I wish we did.
Then why do people like try so much for diversity if it doesn't give them actual government tax rebate?
No, no. See, it's in the U.S. It actually works the opposite. You get penalized for not having enough diversity. There's no benefits to it.
Well, the benefit is that you're not getting penalized. That's the benefit. Let's be clear.
Yes, of course. So anyway, Fanfiction Contempt 9002, and yeah. Last stream was interesting.
Last stream was interesting because you tried to start a flame war.
No, I did not try and start a flame war. I have sat myself down and
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. You succeeded in starting one.
Oh wait, yeah, last week was the FTDS special, right?
Yeah, and actually a little update on that is I responded to one of his tweets on Twitter. And
He has a Twitter?
Yeah, he has a Twitter where he was texting such things out as Scottish women are my fetish, and it's not pedophilia if you have sex with small children as long as they say they are older.
Okay, so I know what that idiot's talking about. That's the legal defense of, let's say you meet a really pretty girl, and she's great, and you go, you have sex, and you're like, and you're kind of like, I'm curious how old she is, and you're like, hey, wait,
he wasn't.
You're
he wasn't,
18,
no,
right? She said she's 18.
He was not talking about that.
No, Sneaky. What I'm getting to is, and then they lie about their age.
No, it's not what he was.
You won't get charged with statutory.
That's not what he's talking about.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What he was talking about is it's not pedophilia to have sex with a lolly. To have sex with a lolly as long as the lolly says they're way older, like 300 or something.
No, I was going to say, that was the point I was about to get to, Sneaky. That doesn't apply when they're very clearly, like, 10.
Real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, like, I don't think he lives in the same world we live.
No, he doesn't. And what he actually ended up doing is that Bake actually sent me a tweet about this somewhere.
Please do.
1 second.
Yes, here we go.
Cause this.
My readers hate me because I have a single story with a lolly-based harem.
I mean, that's good reason.
And I said to him, I only wrote about child sex once. That doesn't make me a pedophile, even if there was multiple children involved.
Okay, Bucko, hold your horses. Hold your fucking horses.
And so then he blocks me.
You heard the thing Butted do, though.
Where is it?
Okay, listen. This is how legally it works. If you kill one person, you're a murderer. It doesn't matter if you only killed one person. You're still a murderer. The same thing applies to having sex with children.
So then,
Or in this case, writing about having sex with children.
So then he deletes that tweet, but then responds to my tweet and going, "Ah, so cute, but none of them were legally children."
None of them were legally people.
I'm just sitting here like, that is by far the worst fucking argument I've ever heard.
I was gonna say, that's like what happens when a company finds out that someone they hired has a horrible illness that's going to drive up their benefits costs, and they get a loophole to fire them. Technically, firing the man with stage 4 cancer wasn't illegal.
They aren't legally children, so it's okay.
Listen, anytime you insert the words, well, legally speaking, X wasn't a problem, you're gonna set off lots of bells.
And then he
None of them good.
goalpost moves by saying that then he tries to turn it on me, I guess, or something, and is like, "Oh, do you consider every woman a child then if they are short and petite?" I mean, it's like, dude, there's a difference between short and petite. I've seen short and
There's a
petite.
difference between short and petite and 10.
Yeah, like I've come across plenty of girls who are. Some of them are actually practically midgets, legally speaking.
You dude, my fucking girlfriend is 4'10".
Yeah.
Legally,
Yeah, like you can clearly tell, even if they're flat as a board, you can clearly tell.
Yes. But
generally they're hands.
the funny part here is that usually when people make these sort of accusations, that's how they view it, and they just think everyone else views it like that.
You can see that he actually believes that he has some sort of logic, like some like he expects other people to think like he does, but they don't, and he is surprised by that.
Jesus Christ. But
it's like you know that thing about a kilogram of steel is heavier than a kilogram of feathers. That's how I imagine his face every time somebody tells him that no, you cannot fuck a 10-year-old, even if they say they're not.
Every time someone says no, you can't fuck a 10-year-old.
What is wrong with people?
But what's wrong with us? What's wrong with FTDS?
Alright, so we actually got quite a selection
that
here
was
today.
more of a general statement aimed at everyone who thinks the way he does.
Oh, that's just him.
So we got a smorgasbord today for you all.
All the others are in jail.
We got ourselves a Harry Potter, I have more gold than existence. We got a Harry Potter and I'm in the Fate Stay verse. A Harry Potter and I have Blood of a Phoenix.
This is because I mentioned I was rereading Inquisitor Caro, wasn't it?
Yes.
Which, incidentally, did you see that he completely scrapped the fourth story and is redoing it?
Yeah, I'm waiting for him to build it up a bit more before I go back to read it.
I was just rereading all of it, and what he's got so far, quite solid.
Yeah. We have Naruto Bayonetta crossover, in which Naruto is a female Bayonetta clone with wizard powers.
So,
are you sure that wasn't written by a Fairy Tale Dragon Slayer?
That does sound like
maybe.
something he'd write.
No, because it's called the Sexy Umbra Wizard, so it doesn't have Naruto.
Twice as much.
It's not Fairy Tale Dragon Slayer because it has the word Naruto in the title.
Oh yeah, fuck. He does that.
Also, there's no mention of Fudas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We have some Worm fan fictions.
Oh, those are always.
And we have the Crazy Green Tinker of Brockton Bay, all lowercase, Warhammer Wormcross. So.
I was hoping it was someone who was going to be tinkering with green magic cards. That would be far more fun.
I thought it'd be like a Dota tinker. Like
that's Seth Levy. That's actually a really good story.
I have been reading that. You actually recommended it to me, and I was like, this is great.
Seth Levy is a Worm Magic the Gathering cross.
Oh my god. If it weren't for the fact that I hate the French and how snooty they are about language, I would be crying with them for what you just did to the French language.
Yeah, Seth Levy.
That being said, the French are a bunch of snooty pricks. Suck it.
Yeah, they're like elitism was a word perfected by the French.
Oh, it goes so far that they hate, in this case, it's specifically English. They hate having English words in French so much. They have a committee dedicated to trying to find ways to say things in French that people have just incorporated in English.
dude, like people talk such shit about like Hindi and other like Muslim languages being like like having a lot of phlegm when they say like oh yeah, right. The French language is phlegm.
Okay, look, no matter what, this is what I always say whenever anyone makes fun of any language. At least it isn't fucking Welsh. Have you seen that gibberish?
That's fair.
I apologize to our one Welsh viewer. Your language is nonsense.
Listen, have you seen Scott? Have you seen Scott?
No,
It's
Welsh
just
is worse.
English but
No.
written different.
Welsh is worse.
No. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Welsh takes that
we
a step further.
We got votes for
But the chat doesn't get votes.
Well, you guys didn't fucking pick anything.
I said just pick something from Worm. It's always a riot because nobody ever writes Worm properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Queue up a worm.
All right, so we're gonna do Crazy Green Tanker.
Hey, you wanna snort a little bit closer to the mic there, Sneaky? Really make sure everybody can hear that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, just let them know your take. Oh.
The Crazy Green Tinker of Brockton. Brockton Bay is a place full of crime and capes, but what if one day Gork and Mork show up?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Anthony!
You said Green Tinker. I thought this was Warcraft. Oh, Christ, this is Warhammer.
Oh.
You know what? I don't have to take this. I'm gonna go read Katie and Honor. That's what I'm gonna do.
I'm gonna finish a cigarette and be right back.
I'm gonna stab myself in the throat.
Guess I'll just have to sit here and be a one-man show.
Hold on. I'm gonna pull up Magnus. I'm gonna go ruin everything. Wait, Sneaky already beat me to it.
Anyway, Chapter 1, Green is Best.
Hey, how about a story link?
I don't know. Do you guys really want to link to this?
He raises a valid point, Max.
I don't care. This is for archiving's sake.
We have Isley for that.
I'm doing this for Isley's sake. And I tried to archive the old stories from podcasts 1 to 4 in the early days. That was a pain in the ass.
How's the compilation going, by the way?
I dropped that a year ago.
Oh.
People.
Mostly because work kind of started actually keeping me busy finally. And then this year started, everyone actually knew how to take care of their Chromebooks, so I probably could have been working the compilation this entire time. I just did not want to.
Get us enough money that we can get paid again, so that Max can get paid, so that he'll feel obligated to produce content.
I hate you.
So, freeze frame.
I'm trying to get you money.
Freeze frame.
And I appreciate it, but at the same time, I hate you.
Freeze frame. Okay, so y'all probably wondering why I'm stuck under a pile of scrapped parts and metal junk and about to be crushed into paste. Well, let's go back 3 hours ago. End quote. Flashback time.
Oh, okay, we've talked about this before, but I just need to bring it up again. People, please do not use...
Visual jokes do not work in a written format, with very few exceptions.
Yeah.
This particular format works best in a moving media, such as animation or live action. It would not work as well as in a comic, but you could get away with it. In writing format, you come across as a prick.
Well, not a prick, just a dumbass.
I was gonna say, at best, you're an idiot.
So my physical appearance isn't anything special. Why are we rewinding by 3 hours to some point in time in which you sat there talking about your physical appearance to yourself? Yeah, don't you guys just hourly just sit there and go, I am a Caucasian male at 6 feet and I...
Oh yeah, I love to talk about how I'm a 6'2", out of shape, overweight jackass. It's great.
You just have that internal monologue once per hour. You know, it's like how the
part
British
of my
country.
It's part of my morning ruminations when you look in the mirror and you just think, God, I'm a fat bastard.
Yeah, every morning it's how I wake up.
Let's see. I have black hair and simple brown eyes, and a bit heavy but still athletic, so gym class won't kill me.
Yeah. Also, for those curious, I think I figured out what besotted my computer.
Oh?
Windows 10 forgot where my Steam hard drive was at, and that hard drive also
of
happened to
course
be
it did.
open to some video files.
Nice.
So thanks, Windows 10, you useless cunt.
What else? Oh yeah, what else? What kind of fucking narration is this? Oh yeah, I forgot I'm half Asian, and I recently moved to Brockton Bay with my dad.
These seem like important details.
How do you just forget that? What?
Holy shit, this
That's
fucking narration.
That'd be like Ricky forgetting that he's a Jew.
Well, 1/8 Jew. Well, I moved into our new house, which is a small, cozy place. I moved my stuff into my room and locked out a window to see local bay, which seemed to be in complete disarray, and even scrapyard and distance jackpot.
I see.
There is no punctuation there.
no, there's no punctuation. No.
No.
In fact, there's a lot of spots where there should be punctuation.
There's just no
and
punc-
it's a split.
Wait, no. There's points where he
Wait.
uses one full stop at the end of the paragraph.
Wait, what the fuck is this? So, the story starts off with a freeze frame. Alright, let's go back 3 hours ago.
Without any description of what's actually happening here,
Yeah.
by the way. So, even if you wanted to use that visual format, as we mentioned, don't do that. You already fucked up with how
Yeah.
to use it.
And then we have this fucking insane narration here where the author's just like, yes, it is time for my hourly remuneration?
Numeration. Rumination.
Rumination.
Remuneration.
Yes,
Numeration is
rumination. It's time
You
for my
mentioned
hourly rumination about how I'm half Asian. And then the author flows into, oh yes, there is a scrapyard there. Bye, Dad, going to scrapyard. I sped off to scrapyard. And then it goes into another time skip of 2 days.
Flash forward about 2 days as they're talking, getting to know each other a bit.
Wait, hang on. Wasn't the flashback for 3 hours?
Yeah.
And now we're flash forwarding.
Yeah, we're just gonna skip the part where they were trapped under metal, yeah.
I mean,
Going to be a fairly objective statement coming from me. If I was the high school English teacher, I would be worried about my student writing this because there's a lack of punctuation.
is he from
Numerous
the
run-on
state?
sentences. There is too much detail on appearance. There are too many details in some parts, and not enough details in others. And we're also doing an in media res that has already failed
Yes.
to talk about what happened during
Yes.
the in media res. We have completely skipped over the in media res.
Yeah, we had an in media res that tried to pull a what the hell is that show? Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And then
Fresh
skipped
Prince-
over
holy
that.
crap.
Fresh Prince was such a good show.
It was.
I know, it was
It's fun.
it's such a good show.
But, like, and here's the thing. At best, I could give this paper maybe a 55 because so far their grammar has not been fucked up.
No, they absolutely fucked their
No,
grammar.
punctuation counts as part of grammar, Max.
Yeah.
No,
There it is.
There is
sorry. The word structure. has
Yeah,
spelling.
the words,
yes,
like the
spelling.
spelling is
Still-
correct.
That's
The
still
spelling
there.
is
Yeah, like no immediately obvious
You
misspelling.
don't understand. You don't understand what a period is, but
We're only a fifth of the way through though.
I would give this a
He doesn't
50
understand.
at anything beyond
Yeah, like
fourth grade. Fourth grade's my cutoff. That's where you start getting a 50 on this.
No, I'd say probably 6th or 7th grade. But that's because,
Yeah,
you know, we've grown up in the American education system. You should know better.
Yeah, it's probably gotten worse. That's fair.
But, like, at the absolute best, like, if I was a high school teacher, this would be, like, maybe...
Oh, fail.
Right now?
Absolute fail.
Maybe a 50. Well, 50's failing regardless.
Well, yeah, but 50's being generous at that point. I'm talking more like 0.
No, if I got this as an English teacher, I would get through like the first 2
In my
paragraphs, and I
country,
would
something like this would actually fetch like an 80 or a 90. But then again, I live in a country where the English teacher walks in and says, "Who all have came today?"
Who all
What?
Yeah, so in my country, something like this would actually fetch like a 90 in like 11th grade.
So
Okay.
this
Okay.
is why the call centers are all
Okay.
shit.
No. See, the call centers teach people who don't know.
Okay,
The thing is,
here's...
like, our English teachers, is what I'm talking about. They will walk
Yeah.
into class and be like, "Who all came today?"
Ah.
Oh, it's mostly a participation grade then. Oh boy.
Anyway,
Like, Sneaky, like, here's the thing. I wouldn't put you in charge of an elementary school class because I know how you are, and I know that you have standards that make even college professors cry at times.
Yes.
If I was a fourth grade
except
teacher,
when he's
here's the
coding.
thing. If I was a fourth grade teacher, I'd be
No.
ecstatic that my
Fuck you.
student wrote this much and managed to spell consistently like this. This would easily be like a 70 for fourth grade or so. Like, honestly,
Son,
this is
you
at
don't
best
know
middle
what a-
school writing level at the absolute
Like,
best.
son, you don't know what a period is, but you have spelled harassing correctly.
No, here's the thing. He doesn't know what a period is. He doesn't know that commas are your friend. He doesn't know that run-on sentences are the enemy unless you're going for a specific dialogue style.
Well,
or
no,
some sort of gag.
no, it looks like he doesn't know you're supposed to put periods anywhere but the end of a paragraph.
That's... I know, I just mentioned run-on sentences. These paragraphs are just run-on sentences. These are not paragraphs. He learned what double spacing. Yeah, he learned what double spacing is in the word processor
Yeah, basically.
at the ripe old age of 9.
Flash forward 2 days. I got to Winslow and I settled in peacefully, and there's 3 girls harassing another girl. And
Guys, they don't tell me that. That makes me sad.
I would say this gets an 85 to a 90 in my old high school's 12th grade. That does make me sad. And see, Max, this is why I have such high standards.
No, Sneaky, your high standards are fine for high school, and especially for college. It's when you're applying those standards to an elementary schooler who still barely even understands.
Well, then they
that
should
they're
get
a
better.
human.
Get good!
Please never be a teacher. College professor, maybe, but please never be
I'll
a
go
teacher.
teach English in Japan. Flawless strategy.
Sneaky, I can only imagine what happens come the 3rd day when you're trying to teach them how to say cat, and the most they can give you is catto.
He's
They don't know what cat. They literally can't. I had my Japanese teacher explain to us that in all our time there, it took at least a few months to get them to be able to pronounce the word cat properly. Because they grew up all their lives without a ka sound. They have ka and they have kya, but they don't have ka.
Yeah.
They also have that, yes.
That's how I'll teach them, Max. If they are going to refer to a cat, they can either say cat or they have to nia as best as they can.
Sneaky, you're forgetting you're in Japan. You'll just get a bunch of students showing up with cat ears on their heads.
Exactly.
That.
And you think that will be a problem for me? No, sir. I will thrive off the chaos it causes.
You know, I almost want to just sign him up for one of those go teach English in Japan things. Not because I think it'll go well.
No, here's the issue. He needs to be semi-fluent in Japanese.
Yeah, the
Like, here's the
unfortunate
thing.
bit is that I
Okay.
am language retarded, and I literally cannot comprehend other languages.
Okay, Asian countries are always looking for English teachers. Always. The
No,
problem is, it comes
just
to
lie.
the piece of
Just
no,
lie, Sneaky.
it doesn't. No, that's
that's
no.
not going to work. Like, they do test you.
No, here's the thing. I
There
have
will
faith
be
in
an
Sneaky's luck that if he just randomly guesses on the multiple choice test, he'll barely
Atin,
pass.
No,
I
it's not a
think
multiple
there's a
choice.
spoken interview.
Yeah,
I'm not
they
sure.
have
I
they have a section where they test you on
Yeah,
common
like
katakana.
I always assume that there's a spoken interview section. If we want, one of us could probably just tweet at people who we know have been like English teachers in Japan. Just like, hey, what was the process for that?
I mean, I would tweet at the person I know who's been an English teacher in Japan, but the problem is he blocked me because he was my old roommate. And
What the fuck did you do?
well, see, the thing is he wasn't a friend. He was a randomly placed roommate with us, but the other three of us were friends, and he was also like super hippy dippy green. Like he would cook his pasta in a pot, but at the same time have like a jar of like tomato paste also boiling inside the pot, and on top of the jar was like condiments that he was cooking with steam from the pot on top of the jar
he
in the
ain't
pot.
wasting kinetic energy.
And he was like super green vegan guy, and I came in one time and he's listening to his music on full blast, and I'm just standing there and I look over at my roommate and I'm like, dude, what the fuck is up with the animal sex noises? And he goes on Twitter and types, my roommate just came in asking about my music. He called it animal sex noises. It's called animal mother, you uncultured giraffe.
Wait, so it was... I don't think he understood he was doing himself any favors. Or wasn't doing
And so
himself
the
any
reason why he blocked us is because we found his Twitter at the end of the year, and we went back and liked every single tweet that was about us.
Listen, you should never, ever tweet about people you live with if you don't mind them finding, unless you don't mind them finding that tweet someday.
Oh, it was good shit.
Now, see, here's the thing, right? I take it a step further. I just publicly air Nose Hair's dirty laundry from our time in college.
Oh, what's he gonna do about it?
Exactly.
Nothing. That's my point.
Anyway, so let's continue on with this author and how they're probably, hopefully, in the 3rd grade.
Why do your standards keep rising and you also keep lowering the grade?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
How is this working?
This is my hope right now is that they are just a very literate 2nd grader.
You will be sorely disappointed.
I know.
Maybe.
Blah 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 blah. I didn't care to stop the bullying because I saw it, but no one else was stopping it, so why would I bother? I mean, that's probably the most accurate description of high school politics I've ever seen.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it takes an exception, and I mean this truly, it takes an exceptional person to look at a group of bullies and go, quit being assholes. We get that mommy and daddy don't love you, but knock it off. You don't need to take it out on the rest of us.
I collect old boat propellers and attach them to car engines.
What? Is that a hobby? Because that's a shit hobby, I tell you what.
Yeah, it's a hobby of his. Sadly, I'm not a tinker, so that was no-go. Then I noticed something on top of a pile of... Wait, what? We were... Okay, so we flash forward to school, and now we're talking about boats, but now he's back in the scrapyard. And he's looking at a boat engine on top of a pile in a scrapyard. And it's got grease and dirt on it, but who cares? It's like... Why does that even bother mentioning? Like, obviously a pristine
Because
boat
we
engine.
need to know.
You're in a scrapyard. If you find a pristine motor, that was used to murder someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Or it was part of a getaway boat. Or, you know, the boat brought drugs into the country or something. Like, stay away from that.
Do you really expect like people from like other countries to leave their boats?
Or it's a dead drop.
Point is,
Yeah.
none of it's good.
Anyway, so I get to the top of the machinery, and then I hear something. Come on, people, we wasting time, hurry up, a rough voice screamed. I quickly hid and watched. Quit your yelling, another voice screamed out. I noticed there were 3 people with shaved heads with symbols tattooed on their heads. Damn it, Empire 88 goons, just my luck. I attempted to sneak away only to bump into a pile of scrap making loud noise. What the hell is that? One yelled,
What
yo,
are
someone
E88
watching us.
goons- What is the E88 doing in a literal scrapyard?
I don't know, tinker hunting?
I mean,
The other one
they're
said I could hear them
cleansing the
stalk
city.
towards my position. I dropped everything and ran. They just heard me and chased after me. Yo, see 'em, get 'em, yelled one while brandishing a spiked bat.
I mean, that's pretty common.
Yeah. In cartoons.
When you're there thugs that routinely ignore the rule of law, I'm willing to let the nail bat slide.
Okay, yeah, except for the part where no true East Coaster would ever ruin a perfectly good bat.
They're Nazis, Sneaky. Literal Nazis.
Okay, yes. While factual, they are not from Germany. My heart was beating like a mad drum, my legs were ready to give out, but I kept running, not looking back. Oh, that's a severe jump. Just going from, I'm gonna go run from them, to, oh my god, I'm gonna die running from them.
How much cardio? I'm guessing you haven't been doing your cardio, kid.
Yeah.
Not that I'm in much of a position to throw stones,
Not that
but
any
I
of
don't
us
live in
are
a
in
city where I'll be
positions, yeah.
murdered.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I stumbled and my leg caught on a loose metal pipe and I fell down into a slope of trash and I banged my head and lost consciousness as I found trash, scrap, and fall onto me. Okay, so, wait. So, so let's go back to 3 hours ago. So then we flash back to not 3 hours ago. Apparently, we flashbacked to 2 days and 3 hours ago, and then in the middle of that flashback, we flashed forward to in the flashback to 2 days later.
Stop stacking your flashbacks.
Which
Like,
was then the 3 hours ago that we were originally flashing back to, which then had him end up under the pile of scrap that he was running from Nazis from.
Like, really great authors can get away with that. You are not a really great author.
Well, I'm really confused here as to why precisely they have a slope of trash. Like that's implying that he was running on a flat surface. His pant leg got caught on a pipe that was sticking out from a mound of trash, and then he trips. And it's revealed that the flat surface he was running on was actually also trash, because then he fell down a slope of trash.
Oh, well, we lost Kilm.
Oh, the Indians cut his network. They're on to us.
No, I think he just left to go play Final Fantasy.
Oh, probably.
I guess that was him trying to say bye.
Yep. Present time. Narrator. Well, now that you are caught up, I am currently lying in very filthy place.
Hold on a minute. Now that you're caught up, no we aren't.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. um, about any of this at all.
Not sure about any of what.
This in general.
What?
This in general.
Not really hooking. I feel like I've seen it before, just the general setup.
Yeah.
But like I said, so far the only passable thing about this is the sentence structure and spelling.
Passive. Max,
Only
I just had an entire section where he forgot to use any periods. At all. It was literally just a new line of more text. There is no sentence structure here.
okay, sneaky sentence structure. Remember those stupid word diagrams we had to fill out? Sentence structure refers almost exclusively to the way the words are set up.
Sure, but sentence structure. But key word there is sentence. There are no sentences here.
No, there are. The problem is
sentences require periods. No, sentences require periods. And if you're gonna say until everything's a sentence until he makes a new period, then you could claim that it's a run-on sentence, except for the part where he has multiple people talking, except for the part where he's clearly delineated that it's a new section, except for the part where the sentence structure then falls apart because he's talking about completely separate ideas in the same quote-unquote sentence. So there is no sentence structure. Occasionally, yes, I will give it to you, he has correctly placed words in the correct order to make a cohesive statement. But that's about it. Occasionally. I literally feel like I'm reading shit that I wrote back in 3rd grade. But anyway, there's mushrooms everywhere, so totally ew, and mountain of steel and trash. And I was scared, like real scared, and my life was flashing before my eyes, and I was the bleeding everywhere didn't help either. I think my blood started to soak into the fungus, and I thought, this is it, isn't it? And then I closed my eyes and fell unconscious, and then much later happened things. And then there was screaming, and it was green, and then the wog, and then I found myself still buried under scrap, and I felt angry. And then I heaved the trash away, screaming wog. And then my voice was a lot deeper, and I looked at myself to see that I had turned green. And not just slightly green, I mean spring green. Oi, what the hell is happening right now?
What? Why is there a Jamaican orc? Not that I'm particularly objecting to that, mind you. Just curious.
Because apparently he never found the orc translator that we found.
Yeah.
For Warhammer.
Max,
Even though you can
Max,
just look it up.
Could you actually do me a favor real quick?
What?
I want you to grab that translator, grab the wiki page for Ganondorf, I want to see what happens.
Why is that my job?
You're the only one who's a consultant. I'm asking you to consult the wiki.
I felt around my mouth and noticed I had 2 tusks jutting from my lower jaw. They were kinda uncomfortable. And then I ran over to my hoodie to try and cover myself and hide myself, and I'm hyperventilating. And I noticed the lights on, so my dad was home. Fuck. I quietly tiptoed into the house, hoping Dad wouldn't hear me, and then he heard me because the floor creaked. I'm pretty sure half the bay heard me. Hey Goober, that you? Come in here, will ya? I'm making casserole.
I see. Casserole.
What part of the Ganondorf wiki page are you wanting?
Oh,
Probably
just generally, how's it look? Is it as entertaining as the time the Ganondorf wiki page was run through the Snoop Dogg translator?
Oh, that was pretty funny.
Alright, translate this.
I needed to answer my dad, but my voice was a monstrous scream, so I tried lowering my voice as much as possible. No thanks, Dad. Oi,
Okay.
cough, I'm feeling little zogged,
Here's the
cough,
original.
sick, so I'm going to my room. I heard my dad answer, well, okay, champ, but you should get some rest. Don't want you missing school tomorrow.
Here's the
Thanks,
orc.
da, you get. I quickly slapped my mouth and ran up to my room.
Oh, there's just a bunch of nonsense words in there.
In the
Known
kitchen...
as the Big. Yes. Excellent. Thank you, Orc Translator.
In the kitchen, the man standing behind the counter chopping something. So, Max, how about that sentence structure?
No, I told you it's there. There's like 7, maybe 8 instances of the guy not using a period when he should have, to at least end the paragraph.
In the kitchen,
Slash
the
sentence.
man standing behind a counter chopping something.
Where's the comma?
There is none. There is nothing
no, where's
here.
the comma? It's got to be there.
Nah. There's no such thing as
That's-
commas here. No commas in this story. This is a no comma story. Blah blah blah, itching my head, blah blah blah. I tore apart my computer and made it better, and I smacked it with a wrench and hammer a bunch, and now it's working as a better computer. And then the screen turned on and it screamed, "Oi, you the boss." I noticed the
No,
voice
that's
came
not-
out of the junk computer.
That's not how any of this works. One orc by themselves wouldn't be able to do anything, even if he is a mech boy.
And then he said, "Yeah, I guess, yeah, I'm the boss, you stupid git." Well then, boss, I'm what the humies call phone smarts. You mean artificial intelligence? No, I'm phone smarts, get it right. Why are you a little piece of scrap? I almost smashed the thing with my fist. Breathe in, breathe out. And then I'm a golly green giant.
Breath in, breath out. Oh, Jesus.
Breath in, breath
Literally-
out, yes.
Literally, no orc has ever done a count to 10 successfully.
No.
And I don't just mean they don't have the ability to count to 10, I meant as a calming technique. They would be like, 1, 5, punch. That's the calming technique.
Roy! Zog this! Punch.
I feel better now.
Boy, that technique really works.
To hear me say you should eat things when you feel bad. Grabs a squig.
Oh god, PRT is gonna be on my ass like crazy. They are gonna send me to a secret facility to harvest me.
No, they what?
I
What?
think you've confused the PRT with Cauldron.
Yeah. Now,
What?
granted, one is a puppet of the other, but nobody knows that.
What?
At the worst, the PRT's gonna throw you in the bird cage because you
But
just
they won't-
committed mass genocide for some unexplicable reason. I don't know.
Yeah, I was
Like-
gonna say, but they're not gonna do that without a very good reason.
You have to do something for them to come after you. First off,
What?
Like, there are plenty of heroes that are case. Granted, nobody knows they're case 52s, but there are plenty of heroes that are case 52s.
Oi, boss, you gonna do something or what is bored? Okay, how bad can things be really? I'll just say I burned my skin badly and I'll use bandages to conceal myself. Tomorrow. My alarm annoyed me, so I smashed it. And then I looked down at myself and I was like, oh yeah, I'm still green.
I'm still green.
And so then I started wrapping myself in bandages to cover my skin.
Okay. If they'd just turned green, I could buy that. However, you're also like 10 feet tall, and you can't walk through doors anymore.
No, they're still the same size.
Then they haven't become very... No, as I was waiting for the school bus, I noticed several people were looking at me weirdly, which I just now noticed I was much taller than I was last night. I was 7'5'1"?
I was 7, 51 feet tall. What?
Okay, so none of that is a thing, but A... Okay, but so you are...
Hey Max, I found your first comma!
Sorry, what?
I found our first comma.
Where?
I'm 7, 51 feet tall.
Are they a fucking European?
Oh, they're probably fucking European. Oh, Jesus.
Okay, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. You are, at minimum, 7 feet tall.
Yeah. I really don't understand how he's gonna fit into his clothes, which were sized for not 7 feet tall.
I would just say, also, you have tusks. He literally said he had 2 big tusks.
That's a good point.
So unless you just hacksawed those off and forgot to mention that, like, even if you cover those with bandages, that's not gonna do anything. Everybody's gonna be like, why do you have fucking tusks, dude?
Anyway, so he's super big and stuff, and blah blah blah. New student.
No, Sneaky. He just said large muscle mass.
Oh,
So
yeah,
no,
I know.
He literally doesn't fit through doors. So he's...
Yeah, I know.
This is all stupid.
And so the teacher goes, "Oh, hey guys, we got a new student here. Apparently, yo, want to introduce yourself?" That's not how American schools work at all. I'm not new. I just transferred a week ago. Nobody heard me. I said, "Oi, I'm not new. You deaf, you gits. I'm telling you, I'm not new." And then everyone was looking at me, and then everyone was afraid of me, and then we all went on and did class and ignored the fact that I just screamed at everyone, and everyone's looking at me in fear now. And then I heard someone yell, "Please stop," and everyone's laughing at this girl being shut in a locker. And I got angry at them. "Oi, what you doing here, you gits?" And I boomed out, and I scared them all away. And then I opened up the locker and rescued the girl from it. And then I waited outside a hospital room where the girl was being treated, and I got thanked by the father of the girl. "Hello, my name is Panacea. I wish to thank you for bringing in poor girl when she was injured." That's... Wow, it looks like they were reading a bit too much worm fiction, because that's not Panacea's her. That's not her. No. She would ignore you. And walk by you. Maybe treat you like a villain. Maybe poke you to test out your biology.
Yeah.
Yeah, if she's stopping here, it's, "Boy, you're wrapped in a lot of bandages. Do I need to heal you? Are you a patient here?"
Are you here for healing too? Yeah, something like that.
Just look at him. Oh, god damn it, not another one.
Thank you so much for bringing her in. You saved her. That's not her personality at all. Also, congrats, main character. You have ended the world due to lack of Capri. Well, no, you see, their character's gonna save the world instead. Also, I'm mildly amused by the fact that they were talking about how they're half Asian, and they made a point to mention to make sure everyone knew that they were half Asian, and now they're an orc. So it doesn't matter anymore. Just, mildly amused by that.
You know, there is something that might be amusing.
Oh.
Sticking an orc into this world.
Oh.
Because all their shit works purely off of faith.
Yep.
Any grenades they throw at Scion are going to be spectacular.
Only if they're painted with checkerboard.
Apparently yellow makes explosions bigger.
I thought it was checkerboard.
There's a lot of things that the orcs do that, like, I know red is fast.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it is checkerboards.
Yellow makes the biggest booms.
That's right. It is yellow that makes the biggest booms.
The bigger the cannon hole, the larger the bullet that comes out of it, and the more damage it does. Completely unrelated, all of those three things. But they just believe that the larger the cannon, the more damage it does. So therefore it does more damage, because it's bigger.
Yeah, that... Okay, I can see where they would think that.
Like, they're not wrong, but the logistics of it is important.
Oh, and the more spiky bits you have on a melee weapon, it doesn't matter how practical those spiky bits are, but the more spiky bits you have, the better a melee weapon it is.
Purple's good for sneaking.
Purple is excellent for sneaking, as any orc commando will tell you.
I love orc commandos.
They are the dumbest fucking thing, and I love them.
I love them so much. I especially love the fan fiction I see occasionally, the green text stories, especially. With the orc commandos.
I was gonna say, where they take orc commandos to their logical, nonsensical peak.
Or they're like sabotaging Eldar plots and crap. It's just like, it's great.
Well, no, my favorite part is I like to imagine that at least half of the orc commandos. You've seen the green text about the incredibly sneaky barbarian, right?
Maybe.
The barbarian who just screamed at people. You didn't fucking see anything, and because of his massive intimidate, every guard was just like, I don't see shit.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
I imagine at least half the orc commandos just scream, "You can't see me" at the top of their lungs, and that makes them invisible.
Well, yes. Yeah. 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 Those are the bad orc commandos, though.
Oh, they are, but they're the most entertaining one. Meanwhile, the commissar is just looking and like, what? What? Guys, stop the orcs. I don't see any orcs. He's wearing purple!
Yeah, anyway, are you injured? Why do you wear all that over yourself? She looked closer at me. Underneath the wrappings, I was sweating. I couldn't let anyone see what I was underneath these wrappings. Okay, A, first off, you still have 2 fucking tusks.
Also, you're 7 feet tall.
Do you mind if I just check on you? She held out her hand and I offered my hand, hoping for nothing too extreme. She touched my hand and felt around it. Her brows furrowed suddenly as she tore a piece off my wrappings and saw the green skin, and she gasped, and I pulled my hand back and ran away. Panacea was confused when she tried to determine what was wrong with him. She felt something she never felt before. It's like he wasn't even human at all. She needs to report this.
I thought she can't feel those things through, like...
No, she can't. She needs skin contact.
Yeah.
But that's not the important part. The important part here is that he wouldn't feel human at all, period. He would feel like a humanoid fungus. Because he is a fungus who's emitting spores by merely breathing, which she would be able to detect by being near him.
And those spores are horrifyingly ecologically dangerous, because as long as he exhaled at least one spore, the planet will have an orc invasion. Might take 100 years, but now they have an orc invasion.
Yep.
Jesus Christ, how horrifying.
I think there's what? There's only 2 planets that have successfully managed to exterminate the orcs without resorting to exterminatus.
Something like that, yeah.
And one of them is Cadia. For those who don't know anything about Warhammer, Cadia is an entire planet of badasses. And it is quite frankly amazing that every Space Marine chapter in the galaxy hasn't just camped on their doorstep going, can we get some recruits?
My favorite will forever be the fact that the Tyranids evolved micro-Tyranids to fight the micro-orcs.
The micro-Tyranids to fight the micro-orcs. Can you imagine the poor Magus who figured that out, Sneaky?
What's this place? Ah, it's a battle site of the Tyranids and the orcs. Let me investigate this blood. For some reason. By the Emperor!
Just looks closely, twists the dials on his eyes, his mechandrites freak the fuck out.
It's miniature orcs fighting miniature Tyranids! Burn the heretics! Burn the Xenos!
Valhalla was the other one.
Valhalla, yeah.
But yeah, I was gonna say, those are like the only 2 planets in the Imperium that kicked the orcs off without turning their planet into a burning hellhole.
Good for them.
So, now we got some Harry Potter stories, we got some Fate Night stories, we got some Naruto stories. Which ones do you want to do next?
Honestly, none of them.
Alright, so then randomly selected, we got this one! Fairy Tail Naruto crossover.
Jesus.
I haven't touched one of these in a while. Oh, God.
Yeah, I think the last Fairy Tail Naruto story we covered was the one where Naruto was subsisting off of chakra for literally 4 months straight. And that's where we lost Xenon Quark.
Yeah, because we were like, that's not how this works.
And he got really butthurt with us saying that we didn't like the story. And he left.
It's a good thing we don't market this as a professional critique.
Ever.
No.
I guess we have to start adding the pre-roll of these are opinions.
I mean, our stories are on YouTube under comedy and improv, and on Twitch they're listed as improv. So, at no point in time do we say we're professional.
Wait, Kitsune Dragon, haven't we run into this fuck before?
I'm sure we have.
I mean, I didn't have them favorited, so...
Why would you have them favorited, Sneaky?
For my filing system. No. As far as it looks like, we don't have any history reading their stories.
Huh.
Isley says we have.
We've read in Kitsune Dragon.
We've run into Kitsune Dragon before. I think. Maybe this is just one of those, like, super generic usernames that has, like, numbers attached to it.
No, I mean, it's got stuff like Kitsune in it. Like, it is a super generic.
No, I only have one instance of favorite. Yeah, it's probably just you that ran into him. Cause boy, these are some fucking cringy as shit.
Summaries?
No, you got Naruto the Elemental Fox. What if Kagebushin wasn't the only jutsu Naruto learned? His happy, goofy self was just a mask, and he's actually a super intelligent world genius who mastered every chakra element at the age of 9. Also, he has the Fox contract. Cool times mature Naruto. Naruto the Fox Sennin. Naruto, after the Zabuza arc, decides he needs to drop his mask of happiness and reveal his true power level. Couldn't come up with anything interesting for the summary. Naruto times OC. I read Fox Sennin. It's really, really not good. I could pick that up from the summary. Naruto, Tamer of the X Antibody. Digimon Naruto crossover. Naruto is banished from Konoha upon bringing back Sasuke. However, he finds salvation in a blue card. What will happen?
Wait, I'm sorry. He was banished for... When is this set?
When Sasuke first abandons the village. Post Chunin arc.
Why would he get kicked out for that?
Because people really like being, mentally disabled when it comes to their plots.
Here's the thing. If someone had said, because he failed to bring Sasuke back, he got a bunch of his fellow trainees hurt, and he completely ignored orders, so he was kicked out, I would be like, yes, that's actually a completely reasonable chain of events, and it's surprising.
Except for the one small itty-bitty issue of he is a living nuclear bomb, and no military ever is going to be like, you did a terrible job, we're kicking you out of the village.
No, Sneaky, I'm just saying, like, that at least is a reasonable thought process.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
You can follow the logic there.
You
like,
can follow the logic. Except at worst, though, due to Naruto's Jinchuriki status, at worst, the minimum I would ever believe in a sort of story like that is Naruto, you're off the ninja force, we're gonna be, you're going through mega revision for the next 3 years or whatever, until we believe you're capable of serving again. Because, literally, he is a walking nuclear bomb. They have to ensure his loyalty to the village, because this is a military dictatorship.
Yep.
They have to ensure his loyalty to the village, and they have to ensure they can use their walking nuclear bomb to counter all the other villages' walking nuclear bombs.
Okay, that is a valid point.
If it's like he's the only one, I could maybe, theoretically, if a very justifiable set of scenarios came about, believe that the village was like, alright, you're gone. If he was the only one that existed. But there's 8 others. And they're all part of their village's militaries.
I was going to say, that being said, while I may have been wrong, I'm still less wrong than this author who's like, you brought Sasuke back successfully. Because if Naruto's the equivalent of a walking nuclear bomb, Sasuke is a tactical nuke.
I was gonna say cobalt bomb, but yeah, that too.
Like, as far as everybody else knows, he's one of the last peoples with magic nonsense eyes that they'd really like to have back.
My problem with the Naruto is kicked out of the village arc is beyond all the things I've currently listed. Because the sequence of plot is typically the following. Naruto brings Sasuke back, but Sasuke is injured, and so everyone's like, OMG Naruto, why did you hurt the precious Sasuke-kun? And then Sakura declares she hates him, and then Naruto is called before the Civilian Council of Ultimate Military Judgment, who needs a Hokage when you have civilians. And the Civilian Council of Ultimate Judgment, who needs a Hokage in a military dictatorship, goes, hey, we are superseding the Hokage. By the way, you're no longer part of the military and we're kicking you out of the village. And we're somehow going to enforce this. And then Naruto's like, "Oh, I hate you all." And then this is where the divergence starts. Either A, all of his friends say they also hate Naruto now that they no longer have to pretend they like him, or B, they are actually still his friends and they all will later on secretly plot to overthrow the village / help Naruto. And then the other point of divergence is Hiruzen is either A, secretly evil and revealed to try to manipulate Naruto all along, or B, actually his grandfather, but his hands are tied because of the council. It literally does not deviate from that format, though.
Mm-hmm.
And if Naruto's parents are still alive, for whatever reason, they also disavow Naruto and call him not their son, and they never believed in him anyway, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so the author then goes on to say, unlike other writers of Naruto times Digimon, my story is completed. So read it. And then there's Naruto Johto Journeys, which is a Pokemon Naruto story in which Naruto is a young trainer who wishes to become a Pokemon master with his trusty Cyndaquil. Which I'm assuming is a Pokemon story with the names of Naruto characters replacing Pokemon characters. We got Naruto Shippuden Millennium Wars, a sequel to Tamer of the X Antibody. 3 years later, words, ancient evil, words, call to arms, wars on the horizon, dead story. Naruto Emerald Adventures, sequel to Johto Journeys. Words, it's time to go to higher heights. Words, training on Mount Silver made him super strong and wise. Conquer Hoenn, dead story. And now we have Dragon Slayer, which is, he said he saw great potential in my small body and raised me. I'm uncomfortable with that.
I've been zoning out for a moment, checking out the Discords. What the fuck did I just come back to?
Run while you can!
He said he saw great potential in my small body and raised me. That's a
What?
That's a good
No,
start.
like I get the context behind it. What story is this for?
Naruto Fairy Tale. Because of him, I lived and I learned, and I found someone I could call my Nakama. Even if he didn't call me the same, I am his son, I am the student, I am the Dragon Slayer of Agnolia.
Hmm.
59 chapters, 1 million words, 5,000 favorites. And his latest story, Mistakes, a pure Ruby story. Ozpin once said that he made mistakes, more mistakes than any man, woman, or child on the planet. He raised those boys with the intention to leave behind a legacy the world could remember him by, but everything changed. He created machines, not hunters. He made monsters, not men. It was timed he made amends for his mistakes, starting with them. Original main characters. Yeah, doesn't sound hooky. None of these sounded hooky. They all sounded stupid as shit. So let's get into it. I'm gonna go pull myself a cup of water because my throat's starting to hurt, and I'll just leave you all to ruminate on this story. I did link it in the Discord, didn't I? Yeah, I
I believe you did.
So, yeah, I'll be right back.
Oh, there he goes. ridiculous.
Well, tis what it is, I guess.
Yep, it's a shame. Guess the show's over. Y'all can go home. He really should stop looking.
Sorry, what?
I said he really should stop looking.
He should, but that's not gonna stop him. Most we can do is keep alcohol under lock and key if we ever move in together.
God, yes.
Speaking of alcohol.
That's a can of soda.
That's what you think.
That's what I'm saying. For the sake of Twitch.
It's a can of apple flavored soda, yes. Aged apple flavored soda.
There you go. You're getting it.
Author's note. This is just an idea I want to put out there. I will not be updating this anytime soon because I have 2 other stories to finish. Both of those are dead now. But I just wanted to be one of the first authors to make a story where Naruto is Agnolia's Dragon Slayer. Hopefully it's a good story, and you guys will like it. Note, again, I will not be updating this story anytime soon because I have 2 other stories to work on. I did this because I had the idea bothering me the entire time, and I just wanted to put it out there. Hope you guys all like it. Review, please. So, this is actually a argument I got into people with on the fanfiction.net Discord before.
Of course.
Where they said that all ideas should be explored.
No, they shouldn't.
And all vapid crap like that. Well,
I'll stop you right there.
I know, but specifically referring to shit like this. Where, what if Naruto was XYZ? And it's like, I understand where you're coming from, sort of. But my point of disagreement was, some ideas are just dumb. Some ideas you don't need to write a story for because they are just dumb. Like, I understand 5,000 people favorited this story. That's 5,000 people who are wrong. Unpopular opinion here. But just because no one's done it before doesn't always mean there was no reason nobody's done it before.
Like, here's the thing, right? The first person who ever put a firework up their ass was like, no one's ever done this before. Gonna be great. And then they died.
Yeah, basically. It's just, some ideas are stupid. And anyone being a Dragon Slayer of Agnolia, the only author who could ever write for Fairy Tail a Dragon Slayer of Agnolia is the guy writing Fairy Tail. Like, there is literally no situation in which a fanfiction author could come up with a believable scenario. Because if the main author writes it, I still am not going to believe it. I still think it's going to be dumb and stupid, but it's going to be canon. So I can't argue with it. But if a fanfiction author comes to me and is like, oh, You see Fairy Tale, yep. Well, my OC is the Dragon Slayer of Agnolia. Well, I'm gonna stop you right there, fam, because that's fucking dumb. And I can call you dumb and stupid because it's not canon yet that that's a thing. So, because of that, I can call you dumb and stupid because it's dumb and stupid. Admittedly, once it becomes canon, I'm sure there'll be hundreds of stories about this new character being absolutely warped and basically being turned into a self-insert, or people being isekai'd into him, and I'm sure it'll happen, don't get me wrong, and then I'll have my own complaints about how those stories are executed. But from the premise alone, right now, while there is, as far as I'm aware, no Dragon Slayer of Agnolia,
The story's over, so...
the story's fucking dumb.
Mm-hmm.
You know, actually, is that the first time I've cursed today?
Possibly.
I guess.
I think so. One of the first. That's kind of an overdone element. See, Isley, I read that as that's kind of an overdone element of the Fairy Tale Dragon Slayer stories. I know you wrote Fairy Tale, but my mind immediately just added Dragon Slayer to the end of that. Because that's basically Fairy Tale Dragon Slayer stories in of themselves as well. It's the first story where Naruto's a trap. It's the first story where Naruto's a trap wielding a scythe infused with his mother.
It's the first story where Naruto's a trap who just had sex with his mother. Wait, no, that's not the first.
Summary. I was told I was alone in a world where Nakama! Where every person's desire. So we're already starting off with an AU of Fairy Tale? I like, don't get me wrong, I haven't kept up with Fairy Tale since the Grand Tournament arc. But as far as I'm aware, the point of the Fairy Tale universe was not, in fact, to gain friends. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. Then he...
Not the author, so I wouldn't know.
Found me. He said he saw great potential in my small body. It's so awkwardly worded. Because of him, I lived, I learned, and I found someone I can call Nakama, even if he didn't call me the same. This is why I will do whatever I can to live up to his name. As the son and dragon slayer of the greatest being I've ever met, Agnolia, the black dragon of the apocalypse. I'm going to live up to his name as the black dragon of apocalypse, so you're gonna be the villain in this story?
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's, like, here's the thing, right? If someone took that the funny way of them being like, oh, I'm gonna be the next Demon King, like, you know what? Okay, I can roll with that. That would be kind of fun to laugh at. Like, I am the son of the Dragon Slayer of the Apocalypse, and I have work to do.
I mean, honestly, I actually, yes, I will rescind my previous statement to include the caveat of it's a crack story, and where the self-insert OC is the Dragon Slayer of Agnolia, and they're like, alright, well, I guess that means I'm the villain then. And literally the entire story is them trying to do villain things, except they constantly get foiled by the power of friendship. And they legitimately sit there and are just like, how is the fuck is this happening? I literally planned
like, it would be
everything.
Great for them to be like the first arc where they're trying to start the guild war between Fairy Tale and whatever the jackasses were.
Yeah, it's like I literally planned everything. I made sure they were separated. I mentally broke them down. How did they find each other? What do you mean one of my people betrayed me?
What do you mean? What do you mean one of the most powerful water mages in existence left because she has a crush on an ice mage?
What?
Yeah, no.
What do you mean the Iron Dragon Slayer, the man who's killed every other person that's tried to befriend him, switched sides for friendship?
I would genuinely read that story, though.
And here's the best part. Don't change anything about canon. Just write every chapter. Every chapter is just occurring, like, at the start of the arc, halfway through an arc, and then at the end of the arc. The start of the arc is them going, here's my evil plan. My evil plan is working great. End of the arc. How the fuck did you idiots... What? How?
Yeah.
If you can write entertaining rants, then congratulations, we think you can write this story.
More or less. More or less. But let us get on with this, because now that we've had our fun and pitching completely entertaining ideas, let's move on to the completely opposite of that. Ah, yes, Slayers. But Miss Lena, that's something a villain would say.
I need to get around to watching all
Oh, Slayers was so fucking good. We don't like your type around here. What do you mean, my type? Didn't you blow up the last city? Oh, yeah. I heard that's what happens on Miraculous Ladybug. Oh, I have actually never watched Miraculous Ladybug. I keep getting told I should, and I keep looking at that with really skeptical eyes.
Here's the thing, everybody's like, oh, this show's really great, and I'm like, I've only ever watched one thing from France, and that was Code Lyoko. So right now, France is 1 for 1. I don't want to ruin that. I don't want to ruin the 1 point France has from me.
No, like, it actually is a fun... Like, if you've got an afternoon, just pop an episode or 2 in just to see. Its only downside is the last 2 episodes actually are the prequel and how the characters got their powers. Because they didn't think they didn't think it was going to succeed until it actually did.
Oh, nice.
It's one of those problems.
Oh, another great moment.
Like, we're not sure if this is gonna work, so...
Another great moment of Slayers. You're under arrest! What am I under arrest for? For blowing up the city! But I didn't blow up any cities recently. Sure you did! We have evidence and proof! What do you mean you have evidence and proof? The city's gone! But with one spell! That does sound like you, Lena. But I didn't blow up the city!
I was gonna say, that's like when Edward Elric, I think I did okay. Explosions in the background.
By a given definition.
That was actually really... I love Slayers so much. How did you do this thing? It's a secret! Fucking Zellos. And you know, for a while there, it actually infected fanfiction across the board. Like, when Slayers was like at its peak popularity, which was...
Oh, back in 1990s.
Yeah, fucking back in the day. I saw a lot of fanfiction with that meme in it. You know, how did you do X? Oh, it's a secret. What is Slayers about? It's literally about nothing. It is... You could almost get away with ironically calling it a slice of life anime about a pyromaniac sorceress and a level 1 fighter.
Let's be honest here, Sneaky. It's a slice of life fantasy adventure.
It really is, though.
Like a D&D campaign with a
Yes, it's a D&D campaign of someone who is completely new to D&D playing a fighter and the min-maxing mage.
What? No, I was gonna say there's another great one. Oh God, I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was great. Sneaky, have you seen the one? It's about the guy. It's a team of 3 female adventurers. They're wizard. They need a replacement wizard. The only guy they can get is a dude he's a mage, but all his points are in strength, and he tries to hit things with a stick. That's his wand.
The muscle wizard?
Is that? No, I don't think that's what it's. Is that what it's called?
That's not an anime, dude. That's a D4 story.
No, there is an anime.
Oh God.
I watched it.
Because
Hold on.
that's a really old D4chan story.
No, I know. Hold on. No, this exists. I have to go find it.
I cast fist. Well, we can always try and Google it.
Hold on. Damn
What's
it.
being Googled where?
No, I cast fist is from 1D4chan as well.
Oh yeah, no, sadly, I cast fist is
Yeah,
not from Warhammer. It
Muscle
should
Wizard.
be, but it's
Yeah.
not.
What are you doing? I'm attacking the darkness! Why? Oh.
Cause fuck you, I can.
Anyway, while you guys all look that up, I'm gonna keep reading.
Yeah, go ahead. I have to find this thing, if only for my own sake.
A pair of humans were currently running through a forested area. The man of the duo was about 6 feet in height and had long, spiky blonde hair. His eyes were deep. Sorry, hold on. His eyes were deep, alluring, cerulean blue. He wore a dark blue, long-sleeved shirt and pants, along with similarly colored sandals. Over that, he wore a white cloak with red flames along the hem of the cloak. The woman was a beautiful redhead, her hair extending well past her waist.
Damn it! Quit giving me Konosuba. This is not what I want.
I'm sorry. What are you Googling?
I'm trying everything I can to try to find it. Forget it. This exists, and
At-
I know it
at-
exists.
nope, it was just a delusion on Atin's part.
What are you looking for?
He's looking for an anime in which there's 3 girls and a the guy punches everything, but he's also a wizard.
Like, he's a he's a terrible wizard, and he resorts to solving all of his problems with his massive, like, muscles.
I'm fairly certain you are crossing over anime
No,
and
I'm not,
D4chan
and
Muscle
hold on a
Wizard.
minute.
Alright, so Kushina is running by Minato, and she's carrying Naruto, and then lizard men are chasing them. Lizard men, if you didn't understand what lizard men meant, are humanoid lizards. We all clear on that? Lizard men
Yes.
are men like lizards. I realize this was a hard leap of logic to understand, and I'll give everyone a moment to comprehend it all.
You know, if you can go over it one more time.
Alright, so what you do is you take a lizard, right? And then you take a man, right? And then you make the
Rune
lizard.
Soldier. It was called Rune Soldier.
Rune Soldier? What the fuck?
Yes, it was fantastic. It was actually very enjoyable.
Featuring the soldier Louis as the hero, this series takes place, blah blah blah. It's a sibling series to Record of the Lodos War.
Personally, I think it's better.
Doesn't even have a plot description. Wow. Just goes straight into characters and then moves on to the episodes. Well then.
I found it to be more enjoyable than Record of the Lotus War just because I laughed more at Rune Soldier. And that's what I was looking for.
Record of the Lotus War was created in 1986 by Group SNE as the Dungeons and Dragons Japanese replay serialized in the magazine Compact.
Do they also use the setting with other systems such as
Tunnels and
Hidden by the
Trolls
Chat and
RuneQuest?
What is RuneQuest?
Holy shit!
Oh my god!
Holy shit! Replays are not novels, but rather transcripts of RP sessions meant to hold interest of the readers and convey the events that have taken place in the role-playing game.
Oh, so it's the All Guardsman Party. Got it.
Yeah, it is literally a serialized version of a D&D campaign, All Guardsman Party, but Japanese.
But yeah, no, that was why I really liked Rune Soldier. Because it's three perfectly competent adventurers, and the one, I'm pretty sure Rune Soldier's where Muscle Wizard came from.
It's possible. Yeah, that does make sense, since it was back in 1986. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because that's all he is. He can do magic spells, he just hits things with his staff instead.
Anyway.
No, listen.
Now that we're done with that mindfuck.
I'm just saying, listen. Right now, Pedro's right. I am, in fact, on a trip down memory lane. Right now, I'm in a bookstore. I can smell old books, and I can just see all the titles for all the Drizzt books.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, the money I spent.
Oh, the money I spent. Anyway, so
they stayed at a mediocre level of quality the entire time, so I never got sick of them.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, where I mostly read the stories for everyone but Drizzt.
Oh no, I only read the Drizzt. Oh, you mean yes, you read it for everybody that wasn't Drizzt.
Yeah.
I think I think the only point where I considered dropping it was when they were like, okay, so all of Drizzt's friends are dead. Okay, now he's with a party that's mostly chaotic, that's at best chaotic neutral, mostly chaotic evil. Okay, this will be interesting. Oh no, that was what was her name? Spider Tits.
Lolth?
Yeah, however you pronounce it. Oh no, that was Loth trying to make him into the evil king of the Drow.
Yeah.
So that he would marry her or whatever. I was like,
okay, no, look, if you read the so the unfortunate part of the Drizzt series is that Salvador was so good at setting up a world that other authors were like, holy shit, dude, can we write basically fan fiction of your world? And he was like, yeah, man, I'll even help you and make it canon. And
well, no, to be fair, Wizards of the Coast was like, only if we get money. And then they okayed all of it.
Yeah, but Salvador was involved with all of the Forgotten Realms stories.
Oh yes, I know.
And the thing is that you have to read all the Forgotten Realms stories to understand what's happening in the future of the Drizzt stories. Like, if you didn't read the side series, because
I didn't read any of the side series.
So, do you remember way back in the time when around like maybe the book after they first met the thief assassin? What's his face?
Oh yeah. The dude whose sole purpose became screwing Drizzt over and trying to get him to fight him.
Yes. So, while they were still in that city, do you remember that they heard a rumor about drow that had just surfaced and were like peaceful and shit in this one forest?
Oh yeah, and there were like 3 of them or whatever.
That one-off rumor, that's actually a reference to an entire 7-book series of a story about what was actually going on in the Underdark after Drizzt left. And about how
so that's why there were all of those drow on the surface who were like, we got kicked out of Menzope and Xanaran, and we gotta try to get back in because the surface sucks.
Yeah, so basically what happened was that all of the drow gods were basically having this giant fucking free-for-all battle royale chess game.
Interlude, Isley. In D&D 3.5, Thief and Assassin were not. It wasn't a multi-class. Assassin was a prestige class for Thief.
No, what you're thinking of is Rogue. Rogue specializing in thievery.
Yes.
And then taking the Assassin prestige class. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, but for all intents and purposes, what I said was correct.
Yeah. And the reason why you would do that is because you get some silly sneak attack bonuses.
Well, like at the top of the assassin tree, this isn't actually what the text is, but it's basically, if anything is like your level or lower and you get a sneak attack, it's basically an immediate coup de grace.
Yeah.
Because the amount of bonus dice that you get was stupid.
Yeah, it was silly. But anyway, point being is that basically what was going on behind the scenes is all of the drow gods were having this battle royale as displayed in the story as a giant chess game. And
yeah, so that's where all the fucking chess metaphors started coming from.
Yeah. And what was going on is, like, it would be like, you know, Y god versus X god, and they're moving chess pieces around, and then it, like, snaps back down to what's actually happening, and it's like, oh, this drow sect is attacking this drow sect, and then suddenly
this house.
XYZ happens, and, like, the Y god get defeated, but then Z god shows up and was like, lol, this was part of my Kikaku the whole time.
Meanwhile, there's some little girl who was she Drizzt's daughter or something who became the avatar of Loth.
Yeah, something like that.
And then she's like, "I'ma get Drizzt to put his dick in me," and we're all just like,
Yeah, it got weird. But what happened at the end
Salvatore, you need to stop.
Is that Lolth just shows up at the end of the chess match. Is like, actually, this was part of my Kikaku the whole time. And Lolth's like, ha ha ha, I destroyed them all the power and worship is mine now. And then the old elf god shows up, and he's just like, bitch, please, and starts putting his pieces on the board. And that's where the series ends, and you get the rumor in that one Drizzt book.
Oh, and then of course, and like, I already knew there was a side series of books for this.
Yeah.
But like, there's that whole side series with like the Shadow Realm or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I never read any of those, because at that point I was like, I have spent so much money on the Drizzt books, I'm just gonna, like, I can't go spending more money, guys.
Yeah, I think we looked this up before, but it was around like 60 to 80 books in the Forgotten Realm Salvador series.
Yeah.
Not including like including the Drizzt books, like additional materials, basically. Like, no, I really liked that side story. That was actually a really good side series.
No, I just think, I'm sure it was great, but at that point in time, I was like, I'm not spending any more fucking money.
Yeah, that's fair.
Although I will say this, I would have liked it if we got just one book from like the Avatar of Loth's perspective as to like why she wants Drizzt so bad.
Something Loth, something probably.
'Cause like, he really isn't that, like, there are better fighters, better rangers than him.
I think you missed up coup d'etat and coup de grace. No, coup de grace was a maneuver in D&D 3.5.
Here's the thing, 3.5 is the one that messed it up.
Yeah.
So let's be clear there.
Where you you deal maximum damage as if you had criticaled on a unconscious, unaware, or incapacitated enemy. And yes, there is a difference between all three.
Yeah, I was gonna say, basically, the rule of thumb was the enemy has to be considered helpless.
Yeah. And what they...
and bear in mind, that can be something as simple as they are restrained by an ally, which is its own complete series of fun.
Actually, it's not an ally, it's rope. The minimum is rope.
Yeah, rope.
Which... use rope! Why are you putting all your points in use rope?
Oh, no, what I was thinking of, there was, it's like, what, 3 feet into the grapple tree, enemies that you grapple are helpless.
Oh, yeah. No, it's like 2 feet. But yeah, no, yeah.
No, you have to have advanced grappling.
No, it's grappler, and then you have to have pinning.
Right.
Because normally what you have to do is you grapple, then you contest the grapple, and then you can pin, but the feet skip over each part of those steps.
Yeah. So it's just, you've grappled them and they're pinned.
But yeah, the coup de grace skill is something available to all characters that are chaotic or evil. Only chaotic or evil characters can do it. Like, they have to have one of those modifiers in their trig.
Oh, for the feet?
No, just to use the feature coup de grace. Lawful good characters cannot do it.
No, I knew lawful good characters couldn't. But I thought like, couldn't neutral good do it?
No, it was chaotic or evil.
Oh yeah.
Because you're basically killing someone in cold blood at that point.
Yeah.
But the challenge dice was your maximum damage as if you had critical, plus 10. And so it was really hard to contest that. And even if you succeeded, you would be dropped to like 1 HP or something. It was ew. Oh.
Yeah, no, and then it was, and bear in mind, that's the unmodified version, like...
Yeah. But no, I pissed off my DM really hard one time when I was playing a campaign, because I went with use rope as one of my main skills, and I just constantly used rope on a bunch of enemies and would tie them up. And my DM's like, what the fuck is this gonna do? And then my buddy, who is a chaotic, evil, barbarian minotaur, would just reap people. And the DM's just like, are you fucking kidding me? Because the scythe was a ×4 crit mod.
Oh yeah.
And because he was a large creature, it was like a
It'd have been a D8, right?
2d8 for the scythe with a ×4 crit mod. He's just like, are you shitting me?
Well, the best part is, like, most of the boss enemies, if you have sufficiently strong chains or ropes or whatever, most of them don't have a high enough use rope skill to contest you. If you like dump points into use rope.
Oh, it was hilarious. Like, literally, use rope is probably by far one of the most useless skills in the game. But it's by far the most hilarious skill in the game, if you know how to use it.
I think one of the only, like, high CR creatures that can contest a player for use rope is succubuses. And yes, they did that purely for the joke.
Yep. Yep.
You think you know why they did it, and you're right. They did it exactly for the reason you think they did. Because they're terrible.
3.5 was great. Anyway.
Still is. God, I hope that 5.5 brings back the complex, or 6, whatever edition it is.
I don't know. I don't think it's gonna happen, but we can always hope. But anyway,
well,
so
then we just have to wait for Pathfinder 2 to come out.
Pathfinder 2, Electric Boogaloo.
I mean, it is coming out.
I know. Is it succubi or succubuses? I really think it actually goes. It's another one of those instances in the. I think it's an instance in the English language where it could actually go either way. let's see. I am ruining my search history for you guys. I hope you all...
Oh no.
Nope, it's not helping me.
You could just type what is the plural of succubus.
Yeah. I don't know why you're making this so difficult.
I was right! The plural form is succubi or succubuses. I was right, it could go either way.
So it is.
You're all welcome. Once again, I have deigned to let my knowledge rain down upon you.
I don't know why you're so happy, Sneaky. Broken clocks are right at least twice a day.
Yes, but I am right far more than twice a day.
No, you're right about once a day.
Fuck you. Anyway, so lizards can copy magic. Blah blah blah. Once a lizard as man has copied magic, it can only use that magic. Bolts of yellow lightning, blah blah, scream of pain, Minato, you okay? Hi, Kushina-chan! Fucking weebs. Kuso! Those lizard men sure know how to make my lightning make they copied. They even managed to copy my blade magic. So it's a world fusion. So not only is it already stupid on its initial premise, but it's a world fusion, which means it automatically is dumber.
Eh.
No, I just despise world fusions because generally they're awful.
Sneaky, you despise a lot of things.
With justified reason.
Yes, I know, but
I mean,
like, you
let's be
despise
real,
a
one
lot
of
of
the things
things.
he despises the most is himself.
Exactly. Non-ironically using Kuso, indeed.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But yeah, it's just like I saw this one really cracky story by Pep Talk. I'm so sad that he's dead. But it was No Gods, Only Guns. It was a Borderlands Mass Effect fusion story.
Oh lord.
In what if the Mass Effect universe encountered the Borderlands universe, but they were the same universe?
That's a problem. That means the Reaper's getting chipped to death by my SMG.
And Mr. Torg's capital ship for the Torg Enterprises was a giant fist called the, was it shit fucking fist puncher or something like that?
Yeah, it's the Joe.
And its main method of attack was accelerating into the enemy.
I think it was the... You know what? I'm not going to finish it because I'm pretty sure we're not allowed to say it here.
Oh. But anyway, so that was a funny as hell story, but that's because Pep Talk is actually a really excellent writer. Rest in peace. But yeah, it's unfortunate because a lot of world fusions just don't work. Prime to Defend the Universe, a Mass Effect story in which Samus from another galaxy travels to Mass Effect universe.
Oh yeah, that I didn't like that one very much.
Really? That was excellent. I love that story.
My problem was they just made her so absurdly strong.
It was Samus.
Which is fine, but then they also made her hundreds of years old, where it was just like, oh god, not this dumbass trope.
But that's canon.
I know, but they were like, oh, she's lived so long that everybody died. I don't know why. Something about it just
What?
annoyed me.
No, that wasn't. No.
Then what did you send me?
Prime. No. The premise of Prime to Defend the Universe is that Samus had finally defeated the space pirates. And the Federation and her, now that the space pirates are gone, in terms of the faction led by Ridley, not space pirates in general. Now that the space pirates are gone, her and the Federation didn't really have too much reasons to not go after her for the numerous war crimes she committed. And so she was like, you know what? I should probably leave. And so she did, and ended up in the Mass Effect verse. Is this more Harry Potter? No, it's Naruto and Fairy Tail now, Super Potatoes. Where Naruto it's a world fusion between Naruto and Fairy Tail, where Kushina has blade magic and Minato has lightning magic, even though he was wind, which is which is funny in of itself. So not only does the author get the powers of the parents wrong, he then proceeds to have Naruto get transported back in time to be the Dragon Slayer of Agnolia, the Black Dragon of Apocalypse. But he's also going to be the hero with a possible harem. No, that's actually for the best. A Fairy Tail isn't a very good story. Basically, imagine the most generic action anime possible, and include by the power of friendship I will defeat you as the hero's line.
You know, thinking back, it didn't start out that way either.
Oh no. It didn't. No, it didn't.
It took quite some time for it to turn into, I'm gonna beat you to death with my friendship.
I believe it was the finale of the Slave Tower arc, where by the power of friendship I will defeat you came in.
No, remember, it was by the power of friendship I'm going to eat your sin.
No,
That's
that
where
was
things went
way
insane.
later. Well, yeah, that's where things went insane. But no, by the power of friendship I will defeat you started at the finale fight of the Tower of Sin.
Yeah.
Which arc was that? Was that where... No, was that where Natsu's like, I'm gonna eat this crystal that should kill me?
I'm gonna
yeah.
eat the crystal of pure magic that should kill me, but it's actually gonna give me temporarily upgraded dragon powers. Yeah.
Also, I'm gonna take the flame of whatever.
I think that in all honesty, I was willing to let that slide if it hadn't been for the fact that the author made the mistake of saying dragon slayers can only eat the type of magic that they're known for.
Yeah.
If he hadn't committed so hard to that, to the point that the dragons themselves are like, no, this is how it works. There wasn't a thing of, well, no one's ever tried, so I'm not sure if that would kill you, kid, versus last one to do that killed themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it proceeded with, by the power of friendship, I'm gonna eat this lightning and become a lightning fire dragon slayer. By the power of friendship.
Don't forget the one where
Literally.
they got so far ahead. Where they got so messed up on the power level scaling, they had to bring in the God Slayer.
Yes.
Who was just a dragon slayer, but with better fire, and then Natsu ate that, even though he literally shouldn't have been able to.
Yeah, by the power of friendship, I'm gonna eat your god slaying fire. And then he became a god dragon slayer. Temporarily, of course.
And again, like, I feel if the author hadn't... I don't even remember his fucking name. But if he hadn't committed so hard to dragon slayers can only interact with one type of magic, he probably would not have lost the... I'm willing to say, like, 25% of his readers that just dropped it here in the States after that point.
Oh, yeah.
Like if it had been... If the foreshadowing had been...
Fire, like...
No, if the foreshadowing had been like, honestly, we've never seen a dragon slayer try and eat another element. We don't know what would happen. That'd have been fine. But I remember them like, you can't do that because it will kill you. That's where he fucked up. He committed to one thing and then did the other.
flame god. Oh, he still has the God Slayer flames fire, but he can't use it most of the time because the power of friendship doesn't let him yet. I see.
I don't. I know he can still get access to the lightning, but I don't remember him ever being able to use the God Slayer. Of course, I dropped the story like
No, he
a dozen
ate
chapters
it and
after
he
that.
used it once.
I
At
don't
least
remember
I only
him.
remember once.
I don't remember him using it for some reason. Because I just stopped following like a dozen chapters after that.
Yeah, no, I stopped at the Grand Tournament arc where it was getting silly. But we're the Light and Darkness God Dragon Slayers! Wait, what? Yeah, no, and then they, like, introduced, we are the other continent, and we don't have mages, we just have warriors! Oh, wait, what does a warrior do? Well, they're basically mages, but stronger.
No, Sneaky, I think you're thinking of the alternate dimension.
No, the alternate
No,
dimension...
that was we have mages, but we've run out of magic, so we're trying to steal your magic or something?
Yeah. Also, the character that you thought died didn't actually die.
But the other universe's character did, or something?
But yeah. At the Tartarus Guild arc, yeah. Power of Grayscale is stronger than Power of Friendship. Yes, yep, definitely. I agree. Anyway, so blah blah blah, reptiles, blah blah, they were more humanoid than normal human reptiles. Blah blah blah. Kiroi Senko, the blonde turned into lightning. I like how Minato has A's power.
Yeah.
This conversation is like a 747 flying over me. Don't worry, Super Potato. You're in the same boat as a lot of people.
You're not missing much.
In fact, some would argue that you are objectively in a better position because you haven't encountered Fairy Tail.
By the way, it's 8:59.
I know.
Can we just stop here since we have
we're done.
Energy make Rasengan, even though that's not.
Why is he just like ignoring me?
I don't know.
Why do you like ignoring like logical suggestions?
Max, we could just leave.
You could. You could. Blades magic, spears. That's.
Why didn't you mention that he said it was lightning make and suddenly switched to energy make? Out of curiosity.
Because reasons. I gotta make sure Minato has Rasengans.
Then it should have just been energy make to begin with.
Yeah, well, you're wrong. Lightning make sounds cooler.
But then why bother with energy make as well?
Because energy make makes sure that there's no plot holes, making sure Minato has Rasengan.
Then just make a lightning themed Rasengan.
I can't do that. That would make too much sense. Blah blah blah. Minato turned into lightning. Nani? Unironic Nani.
Hey.
just an unironic Nani.
Yeah, I just saw it.
Go, Kushina-chan!
Wait. No. No. I didn't see that.
Yes, there it is. Unironic Nani. Is that a fucking
I said
cave?
I didn't see it. It doesn't exist.
Yes, that is in fact a Harry Potter take him and leave me line. Yup. I promise you, Kushina, I will return. Leader Sama, the girl is running off with the boy. Well, I'll go after it to kill this pitiful human as well. Lightning make heaven arrows. I like how earlier on he shouted his Japanese to shoot lightning. And then we scroll down here, and the author has just given up giving his attacks Japanese names, and he's just going full English.
You know what? I'll say this much. This is the fastest turnaround I've ever seen on, like, going from Japanese to English. Like, usually it would take at least half a chapter. This was, what, a quarter?
Yeah. Not even. Like a fifth, a sixth, maybe.
Like, fuck this. I'm going back to just making up English names.
Lightning make heaven arrows, and then everyone died. Attack, kill him. Lightning make dragon maul, and a large dragon shot out and ate people. Lightning make heaven arrows, more lizard men died. Lightning make dynamo! A large pulse of lightning rocketed out of Minato's body, sending lizardmen flying through the air. Light energy make Rasengan, and then the two attacks combined with each other, the Rasengan turning into lightning, and then everything exploded. Blades magic, piercing rain, a silver magic appeared before the seal of the lizard man's jaw, before it fired off numerous blades. Harasshin! Minato yelled. Lightning exploded out of his body, and suddenly he began moving faster than the speed of light. Blades magic, lightning rod. And then the lightning was not able to work anymore because it kept hitting the lightning rod. Ah, so close to defeating us, but you weren't enough. We are going to kill you, human. Wahahahahahahaha. Soon,
Are
Shin!
there lizardmen in Fairy Tail?
Probably.
I'm sure there will.
Is this what Fairy Tail is like? Just a stupider version of Dragon Ball Z?
I'd say that's fairly accurate.
Yeah, that's fairly accurate. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, they're in there. Where the fuck are these an anime only thing?
What?
Lizardmen.
Yeah, probably. And then Minato disappeared in a swirl of leaves and lightning. And everyone was shocked-faced because their prey disappeared. Grr, find him, we kill him, son is ours. And blah blah blah, Minato showed up, Kushina's all like, I'm happy-face tears, and she grabbed her husband and hugged him. And, crushed the baby in between them. And then suddenly, they turned around and realized that the beast next to them was actually a giant black dragon. And, it was looking down at them, and it had multiple wings. And this was the legendary Dragon of Apocalypse, and they're all like, oh no. And then, Agnolia acknowledged the carnage and gave a toothy grin. Ah, yes, destruction of large populated areas, my favorite pastime. And then, he descended, and then, using the Roar of the Apocalypse, which was an insignificant amount of magic in his book, but actually a large amount of magic, he destroyed everything around him. And then he saw the red-haired woman and the blonde man, and they fell to the ground before him. And then Agnolia was like, oh hey, that's a baby in your arms. And then Lizard Man came, and they were going to go kill the humans. And then the lizard men looked at the dragon and they were like, oh shit, it's a dragon. And then they all ran. And then the dragon, because he was so big, blocked them from running away with his foot.
Well,
and then he crushed them all.
That was the appropriate reaction, I guess.
And then he crushed them all to death and ate their corpses. And then the parents looked at him in awe. And they were like, Naruto-kun. And Agnolia looked at the woman. This is it, Naruto-kun. And she pointed the baby at the dragon. Don't worry, Naruto-kun. I am your Oka-chan. I am here to protect you, don't worry. Your Tosan is here for you too, Naruto. Fucking weebs, man. I've really... We will protect you! She screamed as Kushina rested Naruto on the ground, crashing her fists together before a purple magical seal formed around her and Naruto, and Minato charged his magic power into the seal as well, before slamming his right fist against his left palm. Seal magic! Elemental 5-point seal, the two yelled. And then a black spiral appeared on his stomach. And Kushina cried, I love you, Naruto.
I'm sorry, what's going on? I have not been listening to any of this.
Apparently they're sealing Naruto?
Can we just stop now?
They appear to be recreating the death scene.
Yeah.
Poorly.
I'm sorry, I have to go find out where from this comic Superman told Lex Luthor to try being open-minded, and Lex Luthor told him to not be ridiculous.
See now, Super Potatoes actually has a pretty amusing idea. The Dovahkiin ends up in Fairy Tail. I'm a Dragon Slayer. Oh, really? What type? Type? I killed them all.
Soul? Eating?
What do you mean you killed them all? I killed all dragons equally.
Wait a minute. What? But then, what about the dragon who raised you? Dragon that
Who raised me? What?
Wait, hold on. You just looks at Natsu. Wait, hold on. You kill dragons and eat their soul to gain power, right?
I think we're having a distinct difference in the term Slayer.
Natsu just looks at him.
Intense judging. He's a dragon slayer who killed so many dragons that he became one. No relation to time. Oh, well, spoiler alert, the dragon of the apocalypse is actually not a dragon, it's actually a person that turned into a dragon. I'm going to New Jersey.
I know Acnologia had some... They were abusing time travel, but that's about it.
Anyway, so they're sealing, and they're letting off a bunch of magic, and the dragon's like, lol, that's cute, and then he's gonna go crush them, and then she shouts, Excalibur! And a large silver blade surrounded by golden fire stabs.
God damn it, I was hoping that you were just being stupid.
No.
And Excalibur was a sword created by the legendary first and most powerfulest mage ever, Merlin. And it stabbed the dragon.
I don't think the author... I'm starting to think the author doesn't know how magic actually works in Fairy Tail.
Probably not.
I mean, most people don't,
Yeah.
actually.
Well,
I don't think even the writer knows.
No, the writer does know somewhat.
The writer does, and the writer actually is at least consistent. Everyone gets a magic. And
Well,
if you want to use other forms, you have to have copy type magic.
No. Okay, so this is how it works. So you have your generic magics, quote unquote, which everyone who is capable of using magic, that is, everyone is to some proficiency in. To some proficiency also includes basically shit.
Right.
So it's going to either be extremely hard or cost a lot of mana to use some of these general magics, but it is possible for everyone capable of using magic to learn how to use those. You know, Requip is in there, household magic is in there, that sort of stuff. Text-based magic is in there. Now,
But it's the combat magic,
but people can also have affinities for that magic, like Erza, who has an extremely high affinity for Requip magic, and is capable of using it in a combat scenario instead of just as a temporary storage space. And then you also have your innate born magics, where people have high affinities for something like gun, in a special form of like rifle.
That is always something I will give the Fairy Tail universe credit for. They have the gun magic, just gun magic.
yeah, that is.
What's
Where
your special
generic
power?
magic equate to colorless. Yeah, basically, yeah, more or less generic magics equate to colorless. Because then you
Listen,
also have like dull
Everybody
magic.
can summon a 1/1 peasant. You're not special.
Then you also have like, Evergreen's magic, which is, petrification. That's a unique magic that probably no one else can learn besides copy mages. You have doll magic, which is debatable what section it would be under, but it's likely derivative of innate magic.
Well, I guess I
What would
should
you say? And
have.
then there's rune magic.
I guess Margaret say people pick a magic to specialize in outside of the natural affinities, like you mentioned, like Urza being good with re-equip.
What would you say? And then there's stuff like dragon slaying, which actually any dumbass can learn. You just have to be taught it.
No, it's all about playing the 0-2 Thopter for 0. Exactly, Super Potatoes.
I'm sorry. Are you insulting the greatest aerial defender of early game blue decks?
I'm sorry, this is a fog wall. It's a 0-4 with flying. I'm sorry, what? Also, it's 1 mana. And it's not defender, so it can attack.
Oh, it's
What?
a generator too.
What?
Sneaky to this day. Oh look, a massive play undone by a single card. Only in a children's card game. You know what? I play red-blue. I am not allowed to criticize.
Oh, fucking magic. Oh, what's this card do? Oh, basically use 1 life every time it's your turn. Okay. What's this card do? You lose 1 life every time it's my turn. Okay. What's this card do? Oh, it's my turn.
Sneaky, I think you're forgetting the greatest red card in existence. What's this card do? You lose 1 life every time you tap a land.
Oh,
But-
god, yeah.
Don't I have to tap lands to play cards? Yes. Like, here's the thing, right? People give blue deck shit for, I guess I'll just never take my turn then. But it's actually red decks because of that card.
What's this card? Oh, this is Fire Wave. What's Fire Wave do? Everyone takes 12 damage, including all creatures. Doesn't that wipe the board? Yes.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to start playing my 1/1.
Also,
that
because
I'm
all
going
these
to play.
creatures of mine died, they all have a special effect on death that deals you 2 damage per creature that dies.
You know, when I hear about strategies like these in card games and, hear things about fighting in turns and all that, I'm surprised we don't hear more about stabbings at tournaments. And stuff.
Oh no, Max, you don't understand. Professional Magic can be excessively violent. Like they've ever since they switched to the Grand Prix format, and they have a lot more of them. They've managed to tone that way down. But like early days of Magic, fist fights were very common, and it was almost always blue and black decks.
Yeah. I still think my favorite was the white-red human deck. The humans march on. Alright, so I summon this human for 1. It's a 1/1 token, okay. I summon this human for 2. Okay, what does it do? It's a 1/1 token, but it grants all other humans +1. 0. Okay. I summon this human. Okay, what does it do? Everyone gets, all humans get +0/1, and they all have vigilance now. I summon this human. Okay, what does that one do? Oh, all humans have first strike. Yeah, it's just like, oh my god, what are you doing? Also, this card summons more humans per turn, and this card summons more humans from the graveyard. And this is an angel. What does the angel do? All humans get +4/+4. What?
By the way, these all the humans cost 1 mana, and the angel costs like 4.
It's just like, excuse.
And then the entire time, anytime they play literally any card, because you're playing red, you just get to delete that card.
It's like, why? Why do you do
Fireball,
this?
Fork, Disenchant. Disenchant isn't red, but...
The second favorite I've ever seen someone's face is when I was playing against them with an artifact white deck.
Oh, you bastard.
And I got my Ajani the Planeswalker out, who summoned his life avatar. To which I then equipped Trample, Lifelink, Vigilance, and Hexproof.
No, Sneaky.
Oh,
Sneaky, do you think you can find that video of the guy who freaks the fuck freaks the fuck out at the guy playing a blue time deck?
Oh god.
You know the one I'm talking about, right?
Oh, no, I've played against them before.
No, but I'm saying you know the video I'm talking about where the guy's in a turn and he just loses his shit because it's a blue time deck?
Oh, dude, I've seen that in real life. I don't know about a video.
Max, just so you know, I want you to imagine the most annoying hand you've ever played against in Yu-Gi-Oh! Now imagine that hand also makes it that person's turn every turn. And you don't get a turn. Because they keep getting their turn again.
Yeah, okay. We have cards like that in Yu-Gi-Oh! That just skip opponent's turn. And even the most annoying hand I've ever had to fight against, I eventually just punch over because I play big, beefy decks.
No,
No.
Max, you don't understand. Blue time decks have an answer for that, and it's called Time Elemental. And they just keep going back to your hand.
We have an entire archetype called Time Lords. I shit you not.
I still think my favorite moment, again, different deck. This is a white, white, green, blue deck that focused on summoning small creatures that got beefy. And it is these two anacondas. They cost 1 mana of each, and they're 1/1s. But every single time someone draws a card, they get a 1/1 token placed on them.
Oh, that stupid card!
And I gave it hexproof. And he tried to start milling me, but my deck's like 90 cards big, because it's a 3-color deck, so my deck's like 90 cards. And his deck's like 40, and he's trying to mill me, and he's getting down to the point where he's like, I can't mill you anymore without milling myself out. And I'm like, alright, well, I just attack with my 75 Anaconda. And he's like, fucking excuse me.
No, I think my favorite was,
Is there a deck limit in MTG? Because it's always explained
there's
to me
no
that
there's no deck limit, but there is in tournaments a acceptable social limit, basically, where
I that's what I was wanting. Like,
yeah.
I know that there's social.
it's an unwritten rule of like 70 essentially, because the absolute minimum to play
is 50.
is 40. Like you have
40.
to have 40, and they do that explicitly so that some of the cheesier decks can't be played.
Okay, so if I just showed up to a tournament, pulled out a briefcase, and said, "This is my deck," I'm gonna get some dirty looks, but they can't really kick me
No,
out
they
as
won't
long as
kick you
it's
out.
legal.
They'll laugh at you.
No, I was gonna say actually it does depend. You'd have to read the tournament
Yeah,
very
that's true.
carefully.
Yeah.
Most
tournaments put a hard cap at around 120.
But also the other thing is there are actually rules because Magic once reached the point where it was so meta where there were decks that won not by milling the opponent, not by reducing the opponent's life to 0, not by making you unkillable, but by aggravating your opponent so much that they concede, and those were the time waster decks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They could be any color. Like time waster decks exist in all colors. And basically it's like, okay, it's been you've been playing this game for 40 minutes and you've done one turn, they will throw you out.
Alright, good night, Pedro.
And the other guy moves on.
The other thing though is that Super Potato says most tournaments do decks of any size as long as you can shuffle it without assistance.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's basically around 120 cards. It starts getting hard. But the other thing you have to keep in mind is that unlike Yu-Gi-Oh, there's mana, which is a limited resource, and so you have to balance how much mana you have in a deck compared to how many cards you have. And the more casting cards you have, the more mana you have to have. And so it gets to the point where if you have too many cards in your deck, some hands might be just mana. Like, you might lose because all you pulled was mana for 13 turns.
Yeah. That is what's called land screwed.
And it also has its other end of, I only pulled anything but mana for 13
Yeah.
turns.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, there's the opposite end, also land screwed, which is Please, just one play.
I just want 1 mana, please.
I just want enough mana for Swords to Plowshares, please.
Good times.
But I was trying to think. Probably my favorite deck was the Grizzly Bear deck.
Yeah.
Max, you may not be familiar with it, but in Magic, there's the Grizzly Bear test. The Grizzly Bear is a green card. It costs, is it 1 or 2?
2.
Yeah, it's a 2 mana 2/2.
Okay.
And the Grizzly Bear is basically it's the barometer for is a card good or not. Basically, a minion has to pass the absolute basic minimum of having stats equivalent to its mana summon cost. So in this case, 2 health, 2 attack for 2 mana. Someone decided to make a joke about that, and it was a multicolored deck, and it only featured creatures that had mana costs exactly equal to their stats.
Neat.
I'm gonna guess this deck quickly became a non-joke.
Yes. It quickly became a non-joke because what it boiled down to at its core was just a beefy creature. All its sole goal was to get mana, get big guys on the field, because that's the other thing about Magic. I can play 1 land a turn, as can my opponent. But if I've drawn, if I've drawn 1 land every turn and I have 8 lands down, it's entirely possible for my opponent to have gotten screwed and have drawn 0.
Yep. So that's how I countered. I had 2 Stargates in my Warp Gates in my deck, which allowed me to search my deck for any 1 card, and then it gets put back in the deck.
I was gonna say, actually, believe it or not, Sneaky, did you see the video ProZD made about it?
No, I'll check it out later.
It's just a joke about a cow deck.
But
I play this card so that I can get this card.
Yeah, no, yeah, I
see.
Yeah, and then I'll tap this to get my cheese tokens, which I'll start with the cheese factory, and then I'll start, yeah.
And I am mooing infinite.
That boy makes some good videos.
Anyway, so blah blah blah, they're shooting Excalibur Agnolia, and he's like, wow, I'm getting wounded by a sword, and blah blah blah, but haha, I actually have super regeneration. And then he got hit by a Rasengan. And
there
then
you go, Max. I linked
he
you.
roared.
This will explain the 2 types of Magic players.
And then blah blah blah, Whirlpool of Magic, bullets vanishing, Rasengan, Seal Magic Harasshin on the Brute, Energy Make Odama Rasengan. Wow, humans, I'm super respecting you right now, but I'm totally still gonna kill you. And then they used more magic on him, and they're shooting him, and they're shooting him, and they're shooting him, and they're shooting him with giant fists of electricity. And then he uppercutted Agnolia. Yatta! Way to go, Minato-kun! Databen!
We're done here. Just end the stream. I'm getting food.
Ascalon, these humans are annoying. Rasengan, Rasengan! Lightning Chain, Thunderstorm, and they're shooting the dragon more with more abilities, and they're dodging his abilities, and they're shooting the dragon harder with more abilities. And they're shooting the dragon harder with more abilities. Seal Magic Chains. Fuck you, you garden snake. We are members of the Wizard Snakes, and you will not hurt my son. Wench, I couldn't care what you are, or your son. I am a great dragon of energy and darkness. I eat magic, bitch. Impossible. Well, then he ate their magic. And then, they were like, Minato, we gotta defend Naruto. It's experimental, but I'll seal our souls inside of Naruto so we can teach him our magic. Do it! Okay, 8 trigram seal, and then they sealed their souls into Naruto using seal magic, magic of soul seal. And then they
Guess we'll
died.
just leave our son out here in the open with this dragon that eats magic.
And then the dragon was impressed by the emotions of the humans. And was like, oh wow, this is pretty cool and neat. I'm gonna give you guys a burial because you guys hurt me. And I respect these two, but I don't respect their child. So he was like gonna crush the child and shit. And then the baby opened its eyes and
revealed the cerulean irises within.
And then baby Naruto watched the dragon, and suddenly Naruto reached out and poked the dragon on the nose. And then the dragon was like, what, lol? And then his eyes widened as he felt a large amount of magic coming off the toddler. And he was like, wow, this toddler has got a lot of fucking magic. And then Magnolia watched as a twister the size of its claw swirl around the boy. But being a dragon who eats magic, he just saw it as a snack, and then he tried to eat the tornado. And then, the dragon wouldn't eat the baby, then it would do the next best thing, which was take it in as its own child, because all of the other dragons are adopting stupid gakis. Yes.
You can't just say brat.
No, gakis.
Really?
They're adopting stupid gakis. Weeb powers activate! I made a green-blue commander deck whose goal was to draw as many cards as possible and then do the everything onto the battlefield, basically. And,
But at the end of the day, at least you weren't a black aggro deck. Mono black aggro deck, that... Nobody take that out of context.
You have so much potential in that small body of yours. You will live and learn my magic. You are strong, boy. You will be my son and my dragon slayer, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. That's... how do you... Magnolia grinned as it poked the bundle, only for a red shield that was the elemental 5-point seal suddenly appear and prevent the dragon from making contact. Tosan! The 1-year-old boy stuttered. Blah blah blah. Magnolia didn't have a gender, but I guess he'll be a dad. Blah blah blah. Magnolia, who uses the he pronouns, never had a gender before, but I guess he'll be a dad now. Okay. Blah blah blah, resting, blah blah, to think my first scar would be from a human female. Blah blah blah, it's gonna be fun raising you, my son. Jesus Christ. You guys, don't get excited for more of this, because I'm gonna be writing other stories. If you are curious about the other dragons, like Raiden, Cyclonus, and Levia, they are my OC dragons, where other dragon slayers will be coming from. The water-slaying dragon, the female dragon of water, and Cyclonus, the male dragon of wind. I will be including other, more original dragons, and an ice dragon slayer named Glacia, named after the Elite Four members from Pokemon, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. I hope you guys are interested in this story. Review it lots, please. I'll update it later.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Wow.
Refuse.
Well,
Honestly, had more fun. Had a lot more fun with the Magic the Gathering discussion.
yes. Well, that's how it is on this podcast, where our off-topic tangents, which were originally on topic and then slowly slid farther and farther from topic, are actually more entertaining and more informing than anything the fanfictions will ever read from. And, however, that does conclude our extra long Tuesday podcast. Normally, we only go from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., but you can always find us on Tuesdays and Fridays at those periods of time. Eastern Standard Time, of course, so if you do not know what Eastern Standard Time is, there is a handy function called Google. You can find out yourself. 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm probably going to start streaming video games a little bit more. I'm going to try and be better about that, but, you know, it's been real hard. I forget. But that's not the point.
Here.
Yeah, you forget a lot of things.
We will see you all next time, because remember, there is always more and it always gets worse.